What is going on YouTube? Today I have an awesome video for you guys. I am going to be giving you a first impressions of the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now full disclosure here, I did buy this with my own dollary dues and I've had this for a couple days now. So the unboxing experience, I mean, I'm sure by this time you guys have seen it all, and I did make quite a mess out of that. And you just get a cable and an eSIM in there, so let me just file that off to the side. Now, I will like to say that if you are not new to the channel, you will know that my daily driver, as the tech tubers will say, is an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, let me give you guys kind of a quick little backstory here. So, I had iPhones starting from the 4S all the way up till the 10. Got the Note 20 Ultra, which I think might honestly be one of the first like YouTube videos I ever made. And I went from Samsung phones to the Samsung Fold to Pixels to the Pixel Fold, and ultimately went to an iPhone 15 Pro Max when I moved to Japan, just to have FaceTime with the family and all that back home. And then Google Fi came out with a killer deal. I think it was like a free upgrade and a whole bunch of dollary dues off, getting the 512 gigabyte model here for around 600 USD, and you just have to be on the line with them for about 4 months. So I was like, you know what, it is about time for me to give this a go again. And now here we have it, the S26 Ultra. Now, I am going to make a more in-depth video about, the cliche leaving the Apple ecosystem and all that, because I did buy a couple other things to really kind of give myself that full Samsung ecosystem feel. Unfortunately, some things that I did not replace are my iPad Pro, which I'm gonna be honest with you guys is a glorified Netflix machine and a second monitor on my desktop. And you'd be surprised, but the biggest kind of thing that I just is a staple in my life is the Apple TV, which if you have AirPods and all that, man, the golden Apple handcuffs are so hard to just get yourself out of. So what has this been like the first couple days? Because granted, I haven't done any of the cool setups that you could do on your home screen. See, I'm like missing apps here and whatnot. I don't know how I feel about this brief widget, but that's the beauty of Android is you can go in and just customize it however you want and just make it your phone. It's just, as an adult, like spending hours trying to get it that way is just not something I have had the time to mess around with, which, with iPhones where you have just, this, like everyone's phone looks like this. It's just, they give you a very simple, like how you want it, or not how they think you should want it, and then that's just what you get. But here is just, sky's the limit. Now, all of that yip yapping out of the way, what are my first impressions of the Galaxy S26 Ultra? Now, I want to say all of these crazy Reddit posts that I've seen and YouTube videos, like, they're so mad that it still has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I do want to say I have a D brand screen protector on right now, so that may be why it is super reflective. The screen quality without the privacy display doodad on it, dude, this screen is beautiful. People are bugging out. They just like to complain about things, and I get it. It's been 5,000 milliamp hours for I don't know how many years, and silicon carbon exists, but look, I took this phone off the charger this morning at 100%. I'm at 86%. Now I will say that there is a little caveat. You know, it is 7:54 p.m. A little caveat though is in my car I have a Qi 2 wireless charger that I put it on, and you know, I listen to my music, my podcast and stuff. So it charges now at 25 watts, Qi 2 certified, no magnets. But dude, look at, I'm at 86%. Like, this is the kind of phone where I don't have to think about charging it. And even if I did, granted, it's not 100 watts or crazy super poop or VOOC or whatever, but 60 watts, that'll get you to 50%. And I think like 15-20 minutes from 0%. So even like one day I woke up, had a pretty low battery, shoved it on the charger. Before I knew it, I was up to like 80%, went to work, put it on my Qi 2 charger in my car, and then I was at 100% when I got to work. So, like, the battery on this thing is more than enough for me. I'm not on tickety talks all day doing this and that. Like, as an adult with adult lives that uses their phone like a normal human being, I don't know what power user really means. Like, I go on Mihon, I read my cool little comics or manga or whatever, do some Reddit doom scrolling here and there, and everything is so smooth and so snappy. And yes, I still need to go into the developer options and enable like half percent speed or what have you, but there's just so much to do with this phone. Getting into good luck and going through all of the customization options here, it has just been, look, I'm in the honeymoon phase of this phone right now. And I gotta tell you, if you are coming from either an iPhone and you just want, you know, a new different experience, something that allows you to customize your phone to your heart's content, and you know, gives you access to new Bluetooth codecs, you know, not just stuck on AAC or SBC, and you can try some Sony headphones with ALDAC or whatever, and not just AirPods like this. This is so nice. And one thing too, people keep complaining about that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and they're saying, oh, you know, this Android phone has 7,000 milliamp hours. But you know what no other Android phone or any other phone has, for that matter, is a built-in S Pen. And if you are someone that values the S Pen and all of the different features that this comes with, I feel like I can make a whole video on that. Then this is really your only option. And yes, it does only go in one way, as you can see, because of the curvature of this phone. But I don't care, you know, because even if you put it in wrong, it does stick out a little bit. But if you have a case, then it's not a big deal. It's not going to get damaged or anything. And as you can see, nice and smooth. Now, another thing that people complain about is it's now made out of aluminum instead of titanium after all these years of mocking Apple and copying Apple and blah, 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 blah. The benefits of that, though, is a new vapor chamber and heat dissipation with aluminum instead of titanium. And that means you can charge this thing faster, wirelessly charge and whatnot, and the phone does not get as hot as it would if it were titanium. And if you are like me and like 90% of people on the planet, you have a case. And if you are covering the titanium, then like, what are we doing? You know, what are we complaining about nowadays about phones being made out of certain materials? And dude, we're at a point where any flagship you get these days, besides maybe a Pixel, those G chips are just not it. But almost any phone you get is going to be amazing. And the deals you could get on some Samsung phones, like if I were to look at a 17 Pro Max, 512 gigabytes of storage, that price would be in like Z Fold territory levels of outrageous. Getting this for 600 bucks, granted, it was through a carrier deal, is just so awesome. And now I've switched over from Apple Music to Spotify because it just integrates with this phone so well, and it has been very cool to give this a shot. Look, I know I'm glazing this experience right now, and maybe it's because I am just a phone tech nerd and I'm excited to try something new. But if you have an S25 Ultra and you're mad because like there's no new changes, like that phone's gonna be good for the next 3 or 4 years. Like there's no reason for you to upgrade, even if you have, dare I say, like a S23 or S22 Ultra. Same thing if you have an iPhone. If you come from an iPhone, I don't know, I would say like 14, but it had a lightning cable, so USB-C is going to be a huge difference. Every iPhone feels the same. Every Ultra is ultimately going to feel the same. It's just the nature we're at with like slab phones. I think foldables is really going to be where we start to see like new change. Like I think the Oppo has a creaseless display. Apple's supposedly going to get one. And that is something that, I'm battling my inner demons with, because I always told myself as soon as Apple comes out with a foldable, I'm going to get it. But coming from iOS to like this, it is just, I feel like I'm coming home, I'm coming back to something that is just so nice and cool and yep, geeking out again. But next time you see me post a video on this phone specifically, it is going to be of like a full review, because like I said, it has been a couple days of me trying this out. One thing that I did not really hit on too much is okay, the flagship feature of this. And by the way, I have some Google speakers, just being able to see, the white noise machines playing and stuff. It's pretty pretty sweet. All right, privacy display. So if you guys haven't seen this by now, look, I'm not going to go all the way into just, explaining all the features and blah, 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 because I'm sure you guys have seen that in a million YouTube videos by now. And what I'm telling you guys is pretty much exactly what I would be telling a friend of mine. Like, I'd like to think you clicked on this video to get my opinion and not just me regurgitating a spec sheet at you. So as you can see, I don't use the privacy display. If you have just the normal one on, it really doesn't make too much of a difference as far as the degradation of colors go to my personal eye. But you do get that slight kind of disappearing effect. And let me turn that off. So now, as you can see, it's not really turning black. What a lot of people are complaining about, and they say the screen is shot, is if you turn on the privacy and then maximum. And as you can see there, it gets a little gray, it gets washed out. I won't go into the nerdiness about the sub-pixel layout and how some pixels get turned off so you could only see it in a certain angle and blah, 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 blah. But yes, it is gray, it is washed out. But maximum privacy display, the camera doesn't even really do it justice. The picture literally disappears. And as you know, you can enable it for just notifications or a banking app, which I think I might end up setting up. But if you have the regular schmegular privacy display, as you can see, it's not washed out, and you still get a minimum version of that effect. So all in all, I just think it's cool that Samsung is trying something different. applying a legitimate hardware change in such a stagnant market. What other phone on the market has a privacy display built in at the hardware level and an S Pen? And I have to say, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, these boxes are open too. I've been trying these things out for a couple days. I'm not gonna make a review or a video until I have a full review. So if you'd like to see that, go ahead and drop the sub. But having those three things playing together with this phone, it has just been an awesome experience. All right, you guys, well, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was more of like, one of those homie to homie type of videos. I hope you enjoyed it. This is an awesome phone if you're coming from something really old, by 3 or 4 years, or if you simply want to try something new and you're coming from Apple, hop on one of those deals, give it a try. This phone is awesome. Don't listen to all the Redditors that don't even intend on buying this, that just like to complain about phones and tech for some reason. Other than that, appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.